My family said I was brave. Her fiance said, does he even get a choice? And in that one question, 15 years of that's just how it is cracked wide open. When I was 8, my sister, Lily, collapsed during her dance recital, glitter on her cheeks, mid-spin, then down like someone cut the strings. The hospital called it a clotting disorder. The doctor explained she'd need regular plasma infusions, and they needed a compatible donor. They tested the family. I was the match. I remember my dad's hand on my shoulder. This is what big brothers do. You protect your sister. My mom cried like the decision had already been made. I said okay because I was 8, and adults don't ask questions unless there's only one acceptable answer. The first needle went in that week. Nurses told me how brave I was while my blood filled bag after bag. I left dizzy and shaking under a blanket. They promised it was temporary until they found something better. 3 months later, it was just one more time. At 9, it was every few months. By 11, it had a schedule. By 13, every 6 weeks. By 15, basically monthly. The marks on my arms never had time to fade. I bruised constantly. I was always cold, always tired. I quit baseball sophomore year because I couldn't finish conditioning without seeing stars. I told my coach I had breathing issues because it was easier than explaining I was being drained on a calendar. Lily, meanwhile, got to be normal. Varsity jacket, state finals, scholarship talk. She lived a life that looked untouched by illness because every month I quietly paid the price in a clinic chair. And she never thanked me, not once. It became expected, like I owed her my blood because she got sick and I didn't. When I asked my dad when it would stop, he said, when your sister doesn't need you anymore. Then he added, like a warning, real men don't abandon family. I nodded and scheduled the next appointment. At 18, I moved out and finally said I was done. My mom called me selfish. My dad said I was abandoning Lily. They insisted there was no other donor. I told them to find one anyway. For 3 years, nobody called. My energy came back like color returning to the world. I could work out without getting dizzy. I stopped flinching every time my phone buzzed. I started feeling human. Then last week, my mom called, bright and cheerful. Lily's getting married, big wedding, honeymoon in Europe. She just needs one more donation before the trip. One last time. I said no. My mom's voice turned ice cold. After everything this family has done for you, this is how you repay us? I hung up. 2 days later, my parents invited me to dinner. Just family, they said. When I arrived, Lily was there with her fiance, Evan, a guy I'd met once. He seemed decent, asked about my job, my life, like I was a person instead of a resource. Then my mom smiled at me across the table and said, so you're still coming to Lily's appointment next week, right? Evan looked up. Appointment? My mom laughed lightly. Oh, just a routine donation. Her brother's her special donor. Evan's face changed. He looked at me. How often? My voice came out quiet. Since I was 8, about once a month. He stared at my long sleeves. Can I see your arms? He asked. Not demanding, just asking. I rolled them up. Needle scars ran up both forearms like tracks, some old and pale, some still dark. Evan went completely still. Then he looked at my parents. You've been using your son as a blood supplier for 15 years, he said. My dad started talking fast about Lily's condition, about necessity, about me being the only match. Evan cut him off with the question that changed the whole room. Does he even get a choice? Silence. My mom gave a nervous little laugh. He's family. That's what families do. Evan stood, chair scraping. He looked at Lily. You've been taking your brother's blood for years and you think that's normal? Lily blinked like the thought had never been offered to her. Evan grabbed his jacket, then looked at me. You know you can say no, right? You're allowed to say no. He walked out. My family stared at me like I'd ruined everything, like I'd embarrassed them, like I'd broken a rule by being seen. For the first time in 15 years, I felt real strength, not the fake bravery adults praise when they need you compliant. I stood up. I'm done, I said, and I walked out behind him. If someone's calling coercion family, send this to the person who needs permission to choose themselves.